Yeah, oh, I mean, it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience. One of my favorite things. Absolutely lovely. I mean, I had zero interest in the law, and um, I don't think I ever even saw 12 Angry Men. I just saw the Hancock version. Um, but somehow you know what to do. Somehow when you put on the robe, you know how to defend, you know how to prosecute, or when in my case now I'm often the judge. Um, uh, Somehow it's a sort of thing we know what to do, and it's so much fun, isn't it? It's so much fun. Uh, Prosecuting, they're all fun. Whether I find myself prosecuting or defending, it's irresistible. The momentum, the desire to build an argument and to believe that that is the reason this person is guilty or why this person is innocent. It's compelling. There's absolute. It's really is. It's an amazing thing. And then when you're the judge, obviously, there is this desire to be absolutely impartial, to hear everything. So the roles. I can understand why the court system is so successful because even idiots like me sort of get it. And then, of course, for the audience, everybody, even if they've never done jury service, everybody knows how to be in a jury and really gets into it. It's amazing how considering it's a trivial comedy show, it's a joke court. Um, it is fascinating how we, as performers, as comedians, if you like, take the trivial, silly, absurd cases seriously, and it's fascinating to see how the audience do. Obviously, the people that are participating, the people that actually come up with their own petty grievances, of course, it's very important for them as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I've been doing the show for 10 years. What I'm saying is, it's a great show. It's a great show, and my dad has been put on trial. But was I a judge? No, I think I was a court clerk when my dad was accused by my stepmother
For
of,
his
uh,
sheds.
of having too many sheds. Too many
Yeah.
sheds. Um, and I don't know if it was Tom Tuck. Um, I think Tim Fitzheim was the judge. Anyway, I think my dad was found not guilty of having
Of
too many
having
sheds,
too many sheds.
which was a miscarriage of justice because my dad has too many sheds. We had a family meeting about it fairly recently, and it was actually he couldn't actually remember how many sheds he has. That's how
Yeah.
many. That's too many
Well,
sheds. You can't remember how many sheds you've got. But
so whoever was defending him that day did a good job.
yeah, yeah,
Somehow
yeah. This is
they
the interesting thing about the show, isn't it? So the interesting thing about the show is, um, there's I imagine like a courtroom. And my friend did jury service once, and he was it really depressed him because he just said, look, it's just you know the good go down and the wicked get off. Um, what happens is you'll have a brilliant argument from the prosecution or a fantastic argument from the defense, but the audience, who are the jury, do their own thing.
well, they
It's
either
like,
like or don't like the defendant.
you just don't know. You don't know. Sometimes when the charge is read out and when the judge is interviewing the defendant, if you like, and the cross examination, they make up their mind. Then you think they do, but then one person has a compelling argument or is just very very funny, and that wins them over. You just never know until the verdict is given, until you ask the audience, cheer if they're guilty or cheer if they're innocent. You don't really know. I mean, sometimes it's clear, but that's the beauty of the show. That's why it's such a compelling show, I think, is that every case is different. Every case is different. So some cases it is an open and shut case, and it's just a bit of fun, and we're just enjoying the theatre, the sort of show of it. And then some cases are actually theatre. They're dramatic. It's quite an interesting. It's a sort of real thing. Like the case where the husband accuses the wife of I don't know, health and safety breach of health and safety by clearing some dog mess off the kitchen floor with the dishcloth.
Oh God,
So
yeah.
the husband accuses the wife of, it's a trivial thing. It's a trivial thing, but for some reason, those two people were compelling. There was obviously just a little bit. There's just a little bit of needle in it. It was obviously a little bit of an issue, and it became a drama, didn't it? It was dramatic as well as being
We
very
split the
funny.
room.
But and the audience have their own opinions, and it wasn't. It was a hung jury, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It was. It wasn't clear, and the split was mostly men and women, and it's mostly men. Men don't give a toss about what a cloth's used for.
this
Sweeping.
particular man did. Yeah,
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 and this man did. This man did, and the women, they seem to hate that woman
yeah,
for what you're doing with. No, you don't use the
yeah,
dishcloth for that.
yeah.
And we just sort of unearthed a
Where was that? Was
primordial.
that the Edinburgh Festival?
Yeah,
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 because
yeah.
I do think it makes us. It depends. The location does have a factor. So when you have it, when we're touring it, and when we're in a particular town, and everybody is from that town, that gives it a certain vibe. So that's a slightly different context for the trial to take place in. But when you go to, for example, when we'll be going to Tunbridge Wells, one would assume that most people will be local to Tunbridge Wells, and so there will be, you know, everybody kind of gets what's going on.
What do you know about Tunbridge Wells?
Um, I think I played cricket there, and I think I won. I think I dismissed the former England captain uh, Chris Cowdrey in a charity match about 15 years ago. I think
Oh
I had a
wow,
shot at mid wicket.
your personal experience of Tunbridge Wells is as a champion
Well, I
beating.
think we lost the match. I'll be honest. I think we lost the match, but it was my own. It was my. I was very proud of myself for getting an England captain out.
Oh
Um,
my God, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and
I don't know Tunbridge Wells. What? How would you describe it? What do you think the people of Tunbridge Wells are like, and what do you think they might be accusing each other of?
they're a bunch of socialist benefit scroungers. That's the image I have of them. Very very left wing,
Yeah,
um, and there's a very high unemployment rate. It's the loony left that run the council there.
yeah,
Um, so
socialists.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of academics and professors and all that sort of
Oh,
nonsense.
do you think they're very woke?
I imagine so. I imagine we'll get into a lot of trouble. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes.
If
So
you try to announce me as uh, His Honour, the judge, they'll probably take issue with that. Yeah.
it'd be their honor
So
or
I'm
their
sure they'll have some problem with it.
their shona, shona,
I
honor.
guess. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and what do you enjoy most when you've been a judge? Is it the sense of shame that somebody from the audience might feel, or the sense of justice that everybody enjoys and shares? That it's been fair. I mean, no one actually gets picked on.
No,
The audience accuses each other. We are not. You're not picking on anyone.
no, and I think that's what I quite enjoy. Um, you know, that's how I do my solo shows in a way. I enjoy giving the people in the room that want to a voice, and so I think I enjoy as the judge. I enjoy letting everybody have a say, if you like. and and you know, and I like it not. There is a potential for it to veer into a sort of roast, if you like, or,
Yeah.
or what you might call a verge on bullying, and so that's my responsibility to make sure that doesn't happen.
I think
So
I think it's true. Um, Sometimes people do think and expect that and think that's what it is. It's like,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
God,
yeah, yeah. The point is, it is literally about the audience. The audience have filled out their charge sheets, and they've accused their husbands, girlfriends, sons, fathers, whatever, friends of whatever it is they've done that's annoyed them. And then when we choose them and they're on trial and they're being defended or prosecuted, it's about them. That's the beauty of it, and that's the fun when you're in the audience watching it. Is you're watching real people have a little bit, just a little bit of their life. We don't try actual crimes, but little bits of disagreements that we can all relate to. We're watching that, so it's a bit like, what was that show in the 90s, the Jerry Springer thing. You're watching other people's, not particularly dirty laundry, but it's certainly, you know could do with a rinse. You're watching
slightly
that.
soiled.
Yes, yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? It's compelling seeing other people. We love watching other people. That's why reality TV is so. So this is it's up that end of the street, isn't it? It's reality improv theatre. Oh yeah, many, yeah, yeah, and vice versa. It's a hard show, but it was an absolute privilege to be with Clive Anderson, who I think he trained as a lawyer, and then he was the judge a couple of times, and then people like Marcus Brigstock, Al Murray, Susan Calman, um, and yeah, it's what's the fun thing. The fun thing is, because often they're my colleagues, I know them, or even if I haven't actually worked with them, I know their work, and it's fun to see how they will be a judge, or how they will be the prosecutor or the defense, because people do it differently, and then they don't necessarily, you can't just do your act, so you don't quite know how they're going to do it, and like and people who you don't necessarily think would be brilliant improvisers turn out to be. Andrew Maxwell was is you know I assumed that he would be good, but I didn't think he would be amazing like he
Yeah,
was. You know, um,
yeah, really,
and
really good example.
yeah,
He,
so yeah, so that's fun, isn't it? And that's so if you recognise the names of the comedians, come along, because you will see them doing something a little bit different. You'll see
yeah,
them.
so it's something they've
Yeah,
never done.
yeah, exactly.
So,
Um,
Thursday, the 9th of June,
mm.
we're doing it at the Trinity Theatre. It's a bloody theatre.
Oh, lovely, great, good.
Proper impressive. And we've got Deliso Chaponda,
Right.
who
Well, yeah,
and he smashed Britain's Got Talent
yeah.
on QI. I mean, he's an incredible.
So yeah, so there you go. That's an example. That'll be. I haven't seen him do the trial, but that'll be fun. That'll be fun to see him
He's a
doing that.
sharp prosecutor.
Yeah, and
Really,
he is prosecuting. Yeah,
yeah, he'll be prosecuting, and
yeah.
so Vix Layton is defending,
Great,
and Vix
great
Layton
situation. Yeah.
is
So you know, the fun thing about this show is, if you want to be involved, you probably can. It's not guaranteed that you will, but you probably can. But you can come along, and you do not. If you don't fill out a charge sheet, you're not going to be involved. It works as theatre. So that's the thing I like. So I can recommend this show very comfortably to anybody. Um, and a group can go, and the ones that want to get involved, you've got a good chance of getting involved. But if you're terrified of getting involved, just don't fill out a charge sheet and you won't get involved. And
Yeah.
it's just, you're just literally in the audience and you're watching a show like any other show, and all you have to do is enjoy it. And that's,
Oh, no, 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 no. There is a key responsibility. They are still part of the jury.
yeah, so all they have to do is just participate in an audience and cheer, but they're not going to be singled out. And I think that's really nice. It's so, it's a safe um, show to go to if you're terrified of audience participation, because it is pure audience participation. But if you don't want to participate, you'll never be required to, other than just cheering when you think somebody is guilty. Okay, I'm gonna talk about that. Yeah, yeah,
Networking,
yeah, yeah.
so
So I mean, and obviously, another way that we've enjoyed doing this show. So we've done it in theatres, we've done it at festivals, and the dreaded corporate. It is one of those ones where it actually works very well with a group of people that know each other. And stand-up comedy is a little bit tricky when you do a corporate situation and everybody knows each other, because stand-up comedy tends to be a monologue, really, where everyone is required to you know keep quiet and just laugh at the punchlines. With trial, this is your trial. Um, you get to air your petty grievances, the little things that everybody knows about each other. Those are the content of the show, and it really flies brilliantly when we do it with groups of friends and people that work together. That, I mean, we used to do it for people's birthdays, didn't we? But it was sort of like it was almost like a this is your, that's why it was called This Is Your Trial, because it was a bit like happy 60th birthday. Here's all the things that you do and you're guilty of. Um, yeah, that's
and it's a celebration of people on trial.
right,
Quite
exactly.
often,
So yeah,
so this
that's,
is, I mean, the company is, this is your laugh, but the aim of the comedy that we do, and we do a whole bunch of other shows, but this is your trial. Essentially, it's a celebration of somebody with their friends, their colleagues, boss on trial. Someone celebrating their wedding. That we've
yeah,
done all of those.